The Galactic Council was not always so contemptuous. Decades ago, they learned the true power and tactical prowess of humanity during a conflict that caught them off guard. The Council ventured too far into human territory, assuming they were facing a primitive and newly spacefaring civilization. Instead, they encountered resistance that was strategic, heavy, and unpredictable. The scars on their fleets and their pride were a testament to the ingenuity of humanity, especially to their relentless struggle until the very last person. The Council was forced to retreat, chastened and cautious, understanding that Earth was not to be underestimated. But time has a way of dulling memories and eroding respect. Over the years, what were once vivid recollections of Earth's defiance faded into legend and myth, dismissed by younger generations as exaggerated stories told by their elders. The galaxy was vast, and more pressing concerns arose, pushing humanity to the back of the Council's mind. Younger voices on the Council began to question the need for caution, claiming that humans were no longer a threat. They noted that Earth had remained quiet, content with its small territory, showing no signs of expansion or aggression. They believed this indicated that humanity had softened and that the stories of their power had been slowly exaggerated. The Council's opinion shifted, and what was once wary respect became contemptuous complacency. They decided that humanity was a minor player on the galactic stage, a species that briefly and unexpectedly took a stand but had since faded into obscurity. Some even suggested that Earth's resistance during the last conflict was a fluke, a one-time event that could not be repeated. Humanity might have been a curiosity, but it was no longer a force to be taken seriously. Buoyed by this new attitude, discussions began to arise in the Council's chambers about further expanding their territory by encroaching on human space. Humanity had stayed within its borders for years, seemingly content and showing no desire to engage with or challenge the Council. It seemed the time had come to test Earth's defense capabilities. Some senior members raised concerns about underestimating humanity again, but their objections were quickly dismissed. The general sentiment was clear. Humanity had grown weak and complacent, and it was time to reclaim what was once their forgotten realm. The decision was made with calm confidence. A modest force would be sent to survey the human territories to gauge their defenses and, if possible, push them further back, reclaiming ground that the Council believed should never have been lost. The Council leaders were convinced that the humans would offer little resistance, and that they would not dare challenge the power of the galaxy's oldest and most powerful alliance. Preparations began. Ships were readied, troops were briefed, and a small fleet set a course for the outer fringes of human space. The Council's confidence was palpable. There was no sense of urgency, no fear of what lay ahead. They expected an easy victory, a quick confirmation of their superiority. As their ships crossed the invisible line into human-controlled space, they encountered no signs of resistance. They moved leisurely, scanning for any signs of human activity or defenses. Finding none, they saw only empty space, unclaimed systems, and no indication that Earth had prepared for their arrival. The Council's assumptions appeared correct. Humanity had indeed become soft, complacent, and uninterested in resisting the invaders. The outer edge of human space was now firmly in their grasp. Council forces, emboldened by the lack of resistance, began to relax. Their leaders spoke of easy victories and swift conquests, unaware of the unseen eyes watching them from the darkness of space. Little did they know, they had just awakened a force that had been quietly preparing for this moment. As the Council's ships penetrated deeper into human space, a quiet conviction filled their ranks that they were on the brink of effortless expansion. They had forgotten the lessons of the past, and would soon learn again the cost of underestimating humanity. Far beyond the reach of prying eyes, a secret fleet lay hidden beneath the surface, known only to a handful of Earth's top leaders. This fleet was humanity's hidden blade, a force carefully crafted in anticipation of the day when the Galactic Council would overstep its bounds again. The Nebula Fleet, hidden in the asteroid belt at the edge of known space, had been maintained, upgraded, and refined for decades. Each new technology and each tactical innovation was rigorously tested and perfected. From a galactic perspective, this fleet was no ordinary armada. It was comprised of Earth's finest, men and women born and bred for this purpose, embodying the pinnacle of human engineering and strategic heritage. They were steeped in Earth's history, schooled in the strategic arts, and trained from birth to adapt and outmaneuver any adversary. The ships of the Nebula Fleet were unlike any other in the galaxy, equipped with the latest secret technologies. They could move silently, vanish at will, and reappear without warning. Their weapons were designed to deliver maximum damage with minimal energy signatures. Railguns fired silently, with the power of a small star-powered torpedo capable of bending space to find their targets. Laser systems could cut through the thickest armor with surgical precision, analyzing combat situations in real time, anticipating enemy movements and adjusting tactics within seconds. Each ship was built for speed and agility, able to maneuver through asteroid fields and debris clouds where other ships dared not venture. For years, this secret fleet had been preparing for this moment, conducting countless simulations and secret exercises. Every possible scenario was considered, and every potential weakness was scrutinized and turned into a strength. The commanders were seasoned veterans with a lifetime of training, waiting for any sign that the Galactic Council might act. They watched from the shadows, gathering intelligence, observing the Council's activities and biding their time. Now, that moment had arrived. Intelligence reports provided insight into the activities of Council ships navigating human space, revealing their intentions. Determination was etched on the faces of the fleet commanders. They had been waiting for this day for years, and they all knew what was at stake. Humanity had been underestimated, forgotten, and dismissed. But now they were ready to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. The order was given quickly, and the fleet began to stir. Engines hummed silently, ships slid out of hiding, and cloaking devices were activated. The fleet moved like invisible ghosts, dark forces lurking at the edges of known space. The commanders communicated their orders with the precision of years of training. The Council had no idea what was about to intercept them, and humanity was about to show them their true might. The fleet received the final intelligence update. The Council forces had breached the outer edge of human space, overconfident and unaware. The commanders' decisions were made. It was time to remind the galaxy why humanity should never be underestimated. With a silent command, the fleet moved out of the shadows. The ships slid into position like predators stalking their prey. They were ready to strike, ready to unleash the power they had carefully cultivated over decades. The message was clear. The Council had forgotten the power of humanity, and now they would be forced to remember it. The Hidden Fleet seemed poised to shift the course of galactic history. The Council's forces, once so confident, found themselves scanning in all directions, searching for signs of resistance, but finding none. Data streamed back to the command ship. Clear skies, no significant defense installations, no sign of opposition. The Council's commanders, relaxed and confident of their superiority, advanced further into what they believed to be an undefended region. Then, without warning, the human fleet emerged from the darkness. The ships seemed to materialize out of nowhere, their cloaking technology perfectly synchronized. A sleek, powerful formation of human vessels surrounded the Council fleet, catching them completely off guard. For a brief moment, there was silence, a stunned pause as the Council's forces registered the impossible. Their sensors flared to life, alarms blaring across command decks. Confusion swept through their ranks as they struggled to comprehend how a force of this size and power could have gone undetected. Humanity did not wait. They struck with pinpoint accuracy, their railguns firing with deadly precision, blasting holes in command ships before the enemy could raise their shields. Energy torpedoes arced through the void, hitting supply ships in critical points in the fleet formation. Each shot was devastating, hitting its mark with unmatched accuracy within minutes. Several Council ships had their engines disabled, systems flickering as their power was drained. The Council commanders shouted orders, attempting to regroup, but each effort was thwarted. Human ships moved in and out like shadows, using their superior speed and maneuverability to stay one step ahead. Smaller corvettes and frigates flanked larger enemy ships, targeting their engines and weapon systems with surgical strikes. Drones launched from stealth carriers swarmed the Council ships, creating chaos and confusion. Coordinated laser fire crippled key communications nodes, cutting command ships off from the fleet. Chaos ensued as the Council ships, built for large-scale combat and relying on raw power, struggled to adjust to the humans' fast and unpredictable attacks. Their once tight formation began to break down as ships frantically maneuvered to avoid incoming fire. The Council admirals, watching from their bridges, realized with dawning horror that they were facing a force that knew their tactics inside out. Every move was countered with precision, a testament to the humans' preparation for this moment. As more and more ships were disabled or destroyed, panic began to spread. The Council's forces attempted to retreat, but the human fleet gave them no quarter. The human ships pressed forward relentlessly, cutting off escape routes and solidifying their formation around the enemy. A squadron of bombers made a bold run through the center of the Council's fleet, dropping kinetic charges that exploded with devastating force, further shattering their formation. The Council's commanders tried desperately to rally their troops, but the human ships seemed to be everywhere at once, cutting down any resistance before it could form. They were facing a force that was not only technologically advanced, but also tactically superior, with commanders who had studied their every move. In a matter of hours, what began as a routine patrol and show of force had turned into a disastrous defeat for the Council. Their once mighty fleet was now a shattered remnant, with most ships destroyed or captured. The few that managed to flee would carry tales of resurgent humanity, a force that had risen from the shadows to defend its territory with a vengeance. As the last of the Council's ships disappeared from human space, the fleet's commanders gave the order to stand down. Their mission was complete. The message had been sent. Humanity had shown the galaxy that it was not to be trifled with, and that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. The hidden fleet returned to its base, once again vanishing from view. The galaxy would be left to wonder about the true strength of Earth and what other secrets it might be hiding. In the aftermath of the battle, word spread quickly through the galaxy. The Council, humiliated and reeling from its defeat, was forced to reconsider its stance on humanity. The younger voices that had dismissed Earth's potential fell silent, replaced by those who now preached caution and respect. The memory of Earth's defiance had been revived, and with it came a renewed fear of what humanity might be capable of. Earth, once again, was left alone, but this time it was by design. Humanity had proven that it could defend itself, and that it had the power to strike fear into the hearts of even the most powerful civilizations. As the Galactic Council licked its wounds and the galaxy pondered the implications of the battle, one thing was clear. Humanity had not only survived but thrived in the face of adversity. They had reminded the galaxy that they were a force to be reckoned with, and that anyone who underestimated them did so at their peril. The Council would not soon forget this lesson, and the galaxy would never again see Earth as a weak, insignificant planet. The humans had come of age in the galaxy, and they would make sure that everyone knew it. They are not facing the same humans. They had once been dismissed. These are warriors who have grown stronger in the shadows, waiting for this moment, ready to reclaim their place in the galaxy. The battle is no longer about territory or dominance. It is a fight for survival, and they are on the losing end. The Galactic Council, battered and on the verge of collapse, gathers its remaining forces for one final, desperate push. They know this is their last chance to turn the tide, or at least escape with enough dignity to save face with a resolve born of desperation. They aim to break through the human defenses and regroup in a safer sector. The Council's commanders rally their troops, calling for one coordinated assault to pierce the enemy lines. But humanity is prepared. As the Council's forces advance, the human fleet moves into action with a seamless coordination that belies their smaller numbers. The battlefield erupts in a storm of activity. Cyber warfare units hidden within the depths of Earth's network unleash a torrent of digital attacks. Viruses spread through the Council systems like wildfire, disrupting communication, shutting down weapons, and scrambling targeting computers. Command ships find themselves blind and mute cut off from their fleet, their screens filled with static and corrupted data. At the same time, a wave of psychological operations begins as hackers breach the Council's internal networks, broadcasting unsettling messages and sowing discord and doubt among their ranks. Disinformation spreads rapidly. Some ships receive orders to retreat RS to advance, and the trap's paranoia sets in as the Council's forces start to suspect sabotage from within the carefully planned. Final assault begins to fracture before it even reaches the human lines. Human ships press their advantage. Launching a series of coordinated strikes, squadrons of bombers dart in and out of enemy formations, dropping kinetic bombs and launching torpedoes that tear through the Council's ships. Precision artillery from hidden positions bombards the enemy's rear, cutting off potential escape routes. The Council's forces, once a disciplined machine, start to break apart ships. Collide lines falter and formations crumble. The commanders struggle to maintain order, their voices drowned out by the chaos of the battle in the center of this maelstrom. The Council's flagship, the symbol of their power and authority, becomes the primary target. The human fleet shifts its focus, converging on the flagship with relent. Less precision-guided missiles swarm toward it, finding gaps in its armor, while a squadron of human fighters dive on its engines. The ship shields flicker and fail under the concentrated fire, and explosions ripple across its hull. The Council's leaders aboard the flagship feel the ship shudder and raise alarms. Blaring lights, flickering desperation grips them as they realize their situation is slipping beyond control. Humanity unleashes its full arsenal. Drones equipped with hacking tools attach themselves to the Council's ships, seizing control of key systems and turning their own weapons against them. Boarding parties infiltrate the Council's vessels, capturing strategic points and sowing further panic. The Council's forces overwhelmed, and leaderless begin to scatter in all directions. What was meant to be a final push now turns into a frantic retreat. The flagship is hidden again, a massive explosion tearing through its core, fire and debris shooting into space, and the once mighty vessel begins to list its hull breaking apart. The Council's remaining ships attempt to cover its escape, but it is too late. The human fleet closes in delivering the final crippling blows that force the Council to sound the retreat. Broken and humiliated, the Council's forces withdraw, limping away from the battlefield, leaving wreckage and chaos in their wake. As the dust settles, the victorious human fleet moves into a defensive formation, their ships gleaming in the starlight unmarred by the battle's fury. A broadcast signal is sent across the galaxy, a message from Earth to all who might be watching. Let this stand as a reminder. Humanity's strength is not a thing of the past. We are here, we are ready, and we will not be underestimated again. The transmission ends, but the message lingers as a stark warning to anyone who might think to challenge Earth's resolve.